Okay, you guys. So I had to end the other video because the guy had brought me my keys back out, and he needed to brief me on what took place and what needs to take place. So I'll finish telling y'all, and then it's going to lead up to what that conversation was about. People just be flying through here, and I'm so glad I'll be like taking my time and being cautious. Cause so anyhow, so where was I? I was saying how when I picked my car up, it was doing all this shaking or whatever, and I had called him and I was like, "Hey, my car is shaking," and he was like, "Oh, what is it? Like you got some vibration?" And I was like, "No, it's shaking." And so I said, he was like, "I'm gonna call you. I got somebody, like a customer in front of me. I'm going to call you when I get done with them, and I'm gonna, look in your file or whatever." So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. So he calls me back, and he was like, "Oh, well, remember, you still needed some back end work done, right?" Now, mind you, when I first came and got the original quote was a little over $4,000. Mind you, when they fixed stuff that I didn't ask them to fix, that total came out to over $4,000. So how is it that it still came up to the same amount, if not more, give or take, right? But everything is not fixed. I'm not understanding how that works. So I'm like, no, I don't remember that, right? So instead of him saying, "Hey, bring it back up here," right? Because I just pulled off. Instead of him saying, "Bring the car back up here, we're going to check it out and see exactly what you're feeling." If he had done that, he could have nipped some stuff in the bud. Excuse me. Ahead of time. Y'all, how come my car was shaking so bad I couldn't drive over 30 miles an hour? So when I would get on the highway, my car would shake so bad, y'all. Like, so bad. And I was avoiding the highway. So fast forward to, one day I was on my way to work, and this piece had fell off of my car. And it was hanging down off the bottom of my car as I was backing out of my driveway, and so it was scraping. So when I stopped my car and I looked under it, it looked like it was like one of those like silver pans that you would use to cook food for like the holiday or whatever. Except I'm like, it wasn't one of those in my driveway, so where did this one come from? So as I backed out of the driveway and pulled out, like, I no longer heard the thing scraping anymore. And so I was like, okay, so I went on ahead and went to work. So the next morning, when I was on my way home from work, I still didn't hear the noise or whatever. But when I got to my house, it seemed like I looked under the car when morning came before I left work, because I remember it not being under the car anymore. And so I'm like, dang, I hope it's at my house, because if not, when did it come off? And is it something that I need? So when I get home, it's at the edge of my driveway. So I'm like, okay, good. So I pick it up, I take a picture of it, I pull it up on Google to see exactly what this thing is, what it's used for. It's like some kind of exhaust pan or something like that. And so I'm like, okay, at this point, I haven't even had my car back for a full month, right? So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I really don't want these people touching my car again, because I had just vowed that y'all will never touch my car again because y'all ripped me off and whatever, right? Hi y'all. Hi brothers. Hi brother Brandon and brother Solomon. So I was just on live a minute ago. I don't even know if it posted, but I'm picking up where I left off with that, about this situation with my vehicle and the work that I had, the maintenance that I had done over the course of the last 2 months here in Arizona, right? And how I'm going to take these people to court and sue them because they did some illegal foolishness. So So I was like, okay, I really don't want these people touching my car no more. So I put the thing in my car and I just held onto it. I was like, you know what? And then I just took it out of my car not too long ago. And I left it at home. So today when I go to AutoZone and AutoZone pull up the diagnostic saying, because my check engine light came on after I just had a tune-up. So the diagnostic said I needed a tune-up. And I'm like, I just had a tune-up. So, like, literally, I just had a tune-up in May. My car set for 2 whole months. And then I just started back driving my car in July. There's no way I need a tune-up already. So, y'all, I'm tripping. So, I pulled my receipt up from the shop that did the work, and I asked them in an AutoZone. And I put the diagnostic next to it. I said, can you tell me if this stuff, because I know what I read. But this is area, right? He's a mechanic or knows something about cars, obviously. So I said, hey, is this stuff listed here? And he did comparison. He was like, yeah. So I said, so I already had a tune-up, right? And I said, so should I explained the situation to him. I said, so should I need another tune-up so soon? And he said, no, you shouldn't. So, hi, son. I called you. I need you to call me back, but after I'm done with this story, okay? I love you. So, I'm like, right, I didn't think so. Because when I Googled it, it said that I should need another tune-up until 10,000 to 30,000 miles. I didn't drive that far. I ain't even drove 2,000 miles since I had my car because I've been so scared to drive. So anyway, so I pray about it, y'all, because I'm really like, Lord, help me, guide me, lead me, because I really don't want to go up here and tear these people head off, because, come on out. Y'all already ripped me off. It cost me $4,000 unnecessarily. So, I'm like, I pray and I come back up here reluctantly, because I already got another shop that I trust, but I really just was like, I'm not about to go pay somebody else to fix something that y'all already got paid to do. So if it's something that's covered under a warranty, then y'all need to fix it, right? So I bring the car back to the place. So there was a different gentleman on the inside, and I had asked him, like, are you a manager? He was like, yeah. So I asked him, what's the old guy, which his name was Dennis. I'm like, does Dennis still work here? And he was like, no. I was like, oh, what happened? He was like, he disappeared in the middle of the night. I was like, oh, somebody else got to him before I did? Because, no, I'm just playing. It was a joke. It was a joke, right? Because I know God gonna get vengeance for me, so I ain't got to take it into my own hands, y'all. Those days over. Those days over, right? So I was like, oh, wow, okay. And he was like, I'm like, what happened? He was like, I don't know. He said one day, he said, as a matter of fact, I used to work at this location, but when Dennis got hired, I transferred somewhere else because I did not like him. And so, hey, Katie, so I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, but the day that Dennis came up missing, that he vanished like a thief in the night, they called and asked me to come and open up this location. So when I get here, Dennis's keys are on the counter. And I was like, wow, he just disappeared in the middle of the night like a coward, right? So I knew dude was not right. He wasn't good for business anyway. So it's good that he was gone when I got up here today, because only God knows. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God knows what was. But no, seriously. So I run down a situation regarding my car to him to bring him up to speed, because he was not present in the last couple of months when all of this stuff took place. So I get to bring him up to speed so he can be here where I'm at today, right? With the check engine light, with the tune-up. When I just had a tune-up in May, and y'all was the one who did it. So, right? So, welcome back, Amaya. I had to end it because I had some stuff to handle. But anyway, what ended up happening was he was like, he pulled my stuff up in the system, and he was like, since it's covered by warranty, all of this stuff was already supposed to be taken care of back in May. I'm going to, inspect your car again and see what's going on and what's causing it to read and say that it's needing a tune-up and X, Y, and Z, whatever. So I'm like, okay. I said, so how much is this going to cost me? Is this going to cost me anything out of pocket? And he was like, no, because for one, they already took you through enough hell, and I don't want to continue to do that to you. But also, these things are covered on the warranty. So I'm like, okay. So I explained to him how when I picked my car up, my car was shaking really bad, right? So remember, I called the guy, Jennings, and told him my car was shaking. When I dropped my car off, my car was not shaking. So he tells me, oh, it's because you still need some back end work done. And I'm trying to figure out how, if I paid you all this money, how to fix everything, how is it that I still need back end work? One. Two, how is it that I needed, if I needed back end work when I dropped my car off, why wasn't the car shaking then as well? So I'm like, it's not making sense. So, I was coming from one of my clients' house one day, and I stopped because I thought I needed an alignment. And so I stopped to get an inspection for an alignment, and as the guy test drove my car. And so when he brought the car back, he said, you trying to kill me? And I was like, that's what I was thinking when I got my car back from them. Like, y'all trying to kill me? Like, why my car's shaking like this? So he like, I can't figure out what's going on with it. I don't see anything that's saying that you need an alignment. So I'm like, okay. So he said, and what did you say that they fixed on your car again? So I ran it all down to him. He said, okay, I'll be right back. So he went, and they lifted my car up on the Hoyer thingy or whatever, and he told me, he came out, he said, come here. So he took me back in the garage, and he showed me under my car what was causing my car to do all this shaking. It wasn't anything in the back end. It was a drive shaft on the front end from when they replaced my catalytic converter, right? So in order to replace the catalytic converter, they had to remove this drive shaft. When they put the drive shaft back on the car, they didn't screw it, they didn't mount it. So I've been driving around for months with 3 loose screws. Drive shaft dangling, just worse than drumline. You hear me? And that's no exaggeration, y'all. I think the migraine I have today came from months of driving with the shaking of the car, for real. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, so they tightened it up and everything, and they test drove it, and my car was back running smooth, right? And I'm just like, I could have cried, because me and my babies have to ride in this car, and I do ride sharing and things like that, and I sometimes have to take my clients different places or whatever, and they're elderly, right? And I'm just like, really? Like, we could have, this car could have malfunctioned when it was shaking on the highway and caused an accident. And that could have been to claim the lives of anybody that was in a vehicle and anybody else who came in contact with my car as it was, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh my goodness, like, I could have cried, y'all. My eyes, like, they just welled up with tears, and I was just like, Lord, like, these people, right? So, I didn't call them back, because the thing about it is, like I said, when I first picked my car up and it was when it was back in May, when I first tried to pick my car up and it was giving me a hard time, I called the Attorney General and made a complaint with them, and I also called Community Legal Services to give me a lawyer, because they broke the law. Legally, by law, you are not supposed to fix anything on a person's car that they did not give you permission to fix. I had a contract with you guys, and the contract shows what I asked you to fix and how much it was going to cost. But somehow, when I came to pick my car up now, it's 2 times the amount that it was supposed to be. And so, not to mention, when I picked my car up, it's doing things that it wasn't doing when I dropped it off to y'all, and all of this different stuff, right? So it brings fast forward to today. So they checked my car out. They fix things, whatever, the check engine light goes off. But then I remind him about this piece that fell off that one day, the aluminum pan, exhaust pan or whatever. So he like, well, if you go back and get it, if you go home and get it, I could put it back on. So I said, well, it looked like it was stripped. So I don't know if that you'll be able to put it back on. And he like, oh yeah, we could fix it. We can put it back on. So I'll drive 20 minutes back home and 20 minutes back over here just for him to say, well, I can't put it back on because it's stripped. I told you that. But okay, thank you for attempting. Okay. So he was like, but the good thing is, now earlier he told me that it was necessary for that to be on there because it was a heat shield, like to protect the underneath my car from overheating and things like that, right? And I like to think if they put things underneath the vehicle when they were manufacturing the vehicle, that it needs to be there, right? Every part has a purpose. So he tells me earlier that it needs to be on there. So now you attempt to put it back on there and you can't put it back on there now all of a sudden, but it's not going to mess up anything. You really don't need it. Nothing's going to overheat and nothing's going to this and nothing's going to do that. And, you know, because my car originally was owned by somebody in Wisconsin. And then when I bought it, when I got it, I was only the second owner of the vehicle. But the car was in 2 states with cold climates, with snow, with starts, all of that. And it rusted out some of the stuff underneath the car. But it still works. It's still in good condition, whatever. So he tried to make it seem like, oh, the stuff is just rusted so bad under there. Mind you, when I took my car over and they screwed up tightened up them screws, I got a chance to see the underneath the car myself. And it wasn't just, oh, so bad, rusted to where you can't move stuff and put it back on, whatever. So I was like, he capping. So I was just like, he was like, but you really don't need it. So, but if you want me to, I'll order one and put it back on there and say, okay, I think that it'd be best that I get one, just to be on the safe side, just to make sure that everything is working in order in the way that it's supposed to be working. Because again, why would they put that piece on the car if it didn't need to be there? I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I don't build cars. I don't nothing. If y'all know, then y'all tell me. But in the meantime, between time, I have some things going on right now. But when I get these things in order, I will be going to file my suit at I don't know if I'm going to small claims court or what I'm doing, but I'm suing them. Period. Like, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. I got all my receipts. I got receipts from me having to rent cars. Now, mind you, I was renting cars, and sometimes I was paying $368 a week for over 2 months of y'all having my vehicle. And the car sat for 2 months for the simple fact of I wasn't trying to be forced out. I thought I was going to be able to get in and out of court before it sat for that long, but things changed, and it actually it kind of put me in a financial situation. Like, it really was a domino effect of a lot of different things, right? And I was just like, you know what? Again, I had the money originally when I had the money, except I didn't feel like I should pay the money for the simple fact of I knew y'all broke the law. So I was hoping to already been and took care of the case, but the attorney general never got back with me. And when I got back with them, they was like, oh, we're waiting for the business to reach out to us. But if they don't reach out, there's nothing we can do. What do you mean? If a person who was in the wrong don't feel like they did anything wrong, why would they reach out to you? They're not. Because they want plausible deniability. They want to be able to say, well, we didn't do anything wrong. To reach out to you will be admitting that they did something wrong. So I'm not understanding. So I was just like, you know what? But okay. All right. So where we are today is I have one more receipt, one more complaint that I'm going to submit with my documentation for my case, and I'm going to go ahead and sue them, and I'll let y'all know what happened with that. In the meantime, in between time, I gotta go. It's getting late. I've been out here all morning. messing with this stuff, and I had business to handle, and I wanted to handle dollars about the rain and all this stuff, and I really wanted to handle this business before it got too late, because yeah, it was some work business, but nevertheless, I'm not gonna put too much stress on it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm going to do what I can do with the rest of the day, with the rest of the daylight that I have, and then with everything else, I'm just go home and get some rest with my babies. But I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, for listening, for allowing me to chat it up with y'all, and keep me in y'all prayers, man. Like, for real, God is working all things together for my good, and including this. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm not stressed. I'm good. And so y'all see how clear this skin is. Like, ain't no stressing. Ain't no stressing. But I love y'all. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Okay.